Hi there, hope you're doing okay, hope you're keeping well, and I hope you're keeping active as well. I think it's very easy in this situation for people to kind of switch off a little bit, and we become sort of passive consumers in a way. We just sit and watch whatever is fed to us. I think it's very important, probably more important than ever, to keep ourselves active in some way. Not just active, but proactive as well. So it's great to watch things. It's even better if you watch them and then do the things as well. I know we live in the age of the Facebook like, but clicking the like button doesn't mean that you've actually done the thing. So there's a lot of good material out there. It's a great opportunity for you to have a look around, see all these different things that are being put out, and then actually give them a try at home. But also be proactive, get in touch with people, get in touch with each other, set up little networks. This is a time to reinforce our networks as well, not to let them slip away. So, I've had some questions in, some very good questions. Now, a few of those were very specific to the individuals concerned, so I've answered those directly to those people. But there were some other good questions as well. One was about motivation for solo training, which I'll speak on next time. And another good question related to some of the work we've been doing in class over the last sort of, well, 6 months to a year, I suppose. And it revolves around this concept of finding internal points of support in the body. And also selective tension is involved as well. So we do an exercise in pairs where we bring the hands up like this and we rest fists against each other. Then one person or both people lean, they take their feet back and lean, so the other person is supporting the weight on their fists. Now obviously without a partner this is a little difficult to achieve, but there's a couple of variations I want to show you today that will help you to work this selective tension internal support concept. So we can of course take up this position against a wall. We place our fists on the wall, we take our feet back and we lean in. Now if you can do it on a hedge, you're very special. Please do send some footage of that in. So we're here and we lean on the wall. We can support ourselves with tension. So the whole body kind of tenses up and locks in place and we support our structure. It's very strong. But of course the whole body is tense, even down to the feet, nothing can really move. So the first lesson is just to put out what tension we need in order to support the structure, and that will allow the feet and legs to relax, allow that relaxation to come up the hips and into the body, into the shoulders. If you've been doing your press ups and everything else correctly, the only point of tension you should need is kind of around here. That should be able to support the rest of the structure, if the structure is correctly lined up, of course. If you're going to try it like this or some distortion, then it's going to be more difficult. So that's how we do it against the wall solo. It's kind of okay, but the wall obviously there's no giving it, it's a very dead surface to work on. So here's something else you might like to try. So someone gave me a set of these a little while back. They're stretch bands. They come in different strengths from very light up to, this is X heavy, and I think there's a XX heavy as well. So the basic idea is you open them up to work the muscles. So I've been playing around with these and I've found a way that we can to some extent practice this idea of selective tension and internal support with these. So what we do is we start with the bands over the wrist. Now we can open these up with tension in the conventional manner. So from here I apply tension throughout the body. That's one way to do it. But again, we've got this idea the same as the wall. Everything is locked in, everything is tense, it's very immobile. So we first start with selective tension. So from here I just tense maybe up to about the elbow in order to pull the hands apart. So the rest of the body should be relaxed. just using tension in the hands, a little bit in the forearms. Now the second method is to tense not the muscles but to activate the tendons. So this is where I kind of, it's very difficult to see on camera, but I kind of open the hands. I'm sort of pulling the tendons out. So here again I activate the tendons. And we're getting some movement there. The rest of the body should still stay relaxed, of course. So the third one is to power this stretching through movement. I can rotate in or I can rotate out. So now I'm trying not to put any muscular tension in, and I'm simply rotating out or rotating in. My next method is to power the movement from another part of the body. So here I'm kind of working from the point of contact to get that rotation, but I can also rotate from the shoulder, for example. Again, there's no real muscular tension in this one. There's no straining. The power is from the movement. I can open the shoulders back laterally, or I can rotate. The next one is similar in that I activate a different part of the body, but this is where we start working into our idea of internal points of support. So from here I activate the chest. By activate I mean that I kind of open this muscle up. I'm not contracting it in, I'm opening the chest up, particularly this part here. So from here I activate the chest. Or I open the whole chest. So this is kind of bringing a little bit of tension into this point here, but this tension supports the hand and supports the arm. Now it works easiest with the chest, but you know, you can also work to activate the shoulder. You can even work to activate the hip or the abs. In a similar way, to get that, not so much movement for the hand in this case, but it brings power or it brings stability to the hand. So in practical terms, all this can work in a few different ways. Say for example someone's got my wrist and they're trying to bend the wrist. I can relax and try and sort of snake out of it, or I can resist. Now if I resist with tension, if the person's stronger than me or they've got a better position, they'll likely take it. But if I activate the tendons, then this becomes very hard to bend. If I add in some support from the chest, then it becomes even harder to move. So that doesn't mean we stand there and let the person struggle. Of course, that's just to buy us a second or half second of time in order to do something else. But nonetheless, it can be used just to protect the joint if you get caught in that position. Likewise, if someone is sort of twisting my arm, perhaps this way, so if I use tension and I try and struggle to get out of it, I'm in a very weak position. So instead, I'll come up and I'll use that idea of moving from the shoulder in order to get my escape. So once we're back together, of course, you can try this. The person twists your arm, they can twist it as much as they like. You rotate from here and you should be able to break the grip quite easily. So not perfect, obviously not as good as working with a person, but if you run through these and try these different ways of, think of it as supporting this movement. Never think of it about putting power in, because the thought of putting power in always brings us back to this kind of dynamic tension, which is fine for exercises. You know, you can do lots of exercises this way, but for actual use it's quite limited because it tends to fix us very much to the spot. So I hope you find that useful. Please do continue with the questions coming in, and I'll do my best to answer all of them. Take care.